elevate it, or we could just wholesale it. But either way, stocks are side.
Boom. Let's go.
When I get home, I'll reach out to you guys.
Okay. All right, sir.
Hey, welcome to Iron Sharpens Iron, the ultimate real estate investing podcast. My name is Joe. I'm a fairly new investor in the game. I've been in sales for about a dozen years. This is my partner, one of my partners, Gerald, and I'll let you introduce yourself, Gerald.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Gerald. We are All Pro Home Solutions. We partnered up about a little less than 6 months ago, and we've noticed that we all have strengths that could definitely help leverage off each other, and we also have weaknesses, and it's just one of those things where we combine each other's superpowers in a sense and try to get this thing off the ground running. So we're building the wholesale operation. We're partnering with other people, but mainly it's just me, Joe, and our other partner, Darren, which he's not here today. He actually just closed up a deal, got that contract signed.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah, man.
And just prefacing us up front, we're not big time in any regards, we're landing about a contract a week right now, scaling fast, and any advice or any tips that we can share about our success and pitfalls, we're here to share with you guys and hopefully give you guys some value. So let's talk about your career.
I started back in 2020 because 2019 was just that, wanting to get in, but not really. Had my W-2. And I said, fuck it, the start of 2020, which was COVID year, it got me out of my day job. So I just kind of went straight into the wholesale game. And I was solo dolo, right? The first 4 years, the first 3 years, actually. I met Joe in 2023. So a lot of the time, for most of the time from 2020 to 2023, it was just focused on the cold calling aspect. I was on the phones for that long. I'm still on the phones today. And it wasn't until today I called my VA and I said, look, something's got to stop. We're not meeting the KPIs, not only because it's a slow game and it's more so like a task that if you were to hand it off to somebody else, they can at least get you the leads and then put it in front of you. So we let go of that, right? But
outbound, for those who don't know, means we're reaching out to people trying to either see if they're trying to sell or get them to sell their property to us.
Not entirely stop the outbound. We have VAs in place. So what they're doing on the administration side was they gather data and our other VA just calls through them. And it's a niche sequential flow. What does that mean?
Sequential flow.
It's a smaller list. We call them one by one, double dial, voicemail. It's the first to market method created by Tyler Austin and REI Sith. Shout out to him. We implement that only because in California it's tough wholesaling property here. Now it could be done, but our only thing is why feed a machine that doesn't get you much return?
Right.
Well, let me ask you, Joe. How was your journey so far that you've been doing real estate?
So I started back last year, October, so fairly new. Again, I've been in sales for about a dozen years before this, training in sales management. And I met Gerald and Darren. We partnered up about 4 months ago, I believe, something like that.
It was during Lonza's meetup in San Francisco.
Gotcha. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So since then, we've done about 130,000 in assignments. We have maybe a potential other 150 to 200,000 in assignments in contract currently that we're working on dispoing. Me personally, I'm not the most organized in my sales process and systems. Definitely a pitfall of mine, but meeting you, Gerald, and Darren, and Gerald is the systems guy, just so you guys know too. It's his baby. He has everything dialed in. And he's been working on it for years, so it was a lot easier for me to come in and pick up the CRM that he uses and go through the motions and stay organized. So definitely, without Gerald, I would have been kind of all over the place. So definitely teaming up with these guys is playing to my weak points. Darren, he's super analytic, dials in the numbers, multiple strategies to purchase and exit strategies. He is just an acquisition deal underwriting engineer. That guy.
Yeah. He's like what we call a transaction engineer. As soon as he gets it under contract, as soon as he gets in touch with the seller, he's already talking down the options. Is it going to be a wholesale cash deal? Is it going to be retail, sub 2, novations. He's just really good at presenting those options and thinking quick on his feet about the numbers and structuring those deals. He's really
Yeah,
good at
yeah, he is. And so me, I could be investing by myself. I could be wholesaling by myself, locking things up, and have semi success. But I'm all about the collaboration over competition. Shout out Pace Morby. And I'd rather get a bunch of deals under my belt with my partners, splitting profits, rather than just get a few deals by myself and all the profit.
Yeah. So you
50% of
mentioned,
go ahead.
sorry. So
No, you
you mentioned you've done over $130,000 of assignments. Now have started a dispo company with your other partner. Talk about that a little bit more. The dispo company.
So on the acquisition side, we got me, Gerald, and Darren. Gerald and Darren are handling most of the leads that come in. I have another partner, Rudy. He'll probably be on here as well with Direct Dispo. We are a disposition company. And for those who don't know, dispositions basically means to sell whatever you got to sell to the end buyer. What we're selling is contracts. So we're not purchasing the properties when we wholesale, traditional wholesale, at least. We are selling the equitable rights to our contract. So we have the rights to buy this in a binding contract for a price. We add our assignment on top and we sell it to an end buyer, which is the disposition process. So what we do in that company is we dispo our deals, obviously, through our network and different platforms like Investor Lift. But we also JV up with different investors, different investing teams around the country that need help with dispositions. And we market their properties and we talk to end buyers and we vet them and get that contract sold or get that contract assigned. And then we make half or whatever percentage of the assignment that they were going to make. Just depends on what we agree upon. Yeah, so Investor Lift basically it's a platform where different investors and wholesalers market their properties to find that end buyer. So kind of like Facebook Marketplace, but just dialed in strictly for investors, where we get a nice clean listing and we have a nice sized buyers list provided by Investor Lift. It just makes the whole process a lot more streamlined. I don't want to say easy, but a little bit more streamlined and quicker than your normal disposition process because it's doing a lot of the steps for us. We're able to find these cash buyers in these areas a lot quicker rather than searching public records for different properties that have been sold that match our criteria. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
So what I tell people about wholesaling real estate, especially when they're starting off, they think, oh yeah, I'm a new investor. I invest in real estate. I let them know, like it's for one, you're not an investor. You focus on marketing and sales. Your whole goal is to get leads in the pipeline, convert those leads, find the buyer for those leads, close it, and you make money, which is short-term active income. That you've created yourself a job. A lot of us are getting up to that point where we do want to make that. We want to get to that point where we are investing in real estate, and that's the tomorrow money. Wholesaling real estate is that today money. How can I get active income generated into my account today? How can I using this strategy, which is not investing, but it's a strategy that'll help us get to that next level, which is either going to do fix and flips, going to do some development deals, maybe even like a subject to, and I was just going into the buy and hold strategy. But wholesale in no way, shape, or form are we investors. Now, I do consider myself an investment into my business because this is an asset, because eventually, and we kind of already do have this already automated. It's a system that is generating leads. Now, I want to go backwards a little bit, Joe. I know we talked a little bit about dispositions, Investor Lift, finding buyers, but let's take it back, right? What is a lead? Where do leads come from? How do we generate leads?
Pick them from the lead tree.
Pick them from the lead tree.
We have to wait for it to grow, prosper. It delivers our fruits. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. I mean, we're building it out, right? We're planting the seeds where we can, and it grows from wherever we plant it.
No, there's a lead tree literally in my backyard. I'm gonna go pick a lead right now and try to close that thing. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, a lead is any opportunity, right? It's any opportunity involving our trade in real estate to either pick up a property, sell a property, whatever the strategy that we're utilizing may be. So a lead can come from marketing that we have out there, ads that we're running. People can call. That's going to be an inbound lead. An outbound lead is going to look like us cold calling a large list, and whoever raises their hand and says they're open to hearing an offer or open to having the conversation on selling their property, that's going to be a lead. A lead could be word of mouth. Someone could tell you about something like, my first deal, we could talk about this more later, but an agent literally just pointed across the street and said that property, the owners passed away and the kids don't live there. There was squatters in there. But the kids don't want to work with me. Maybe you can make something happen. And what did we do? Whacked out a $50,000 assignment fee, which was proof of concept for sure.
That was an outbound lead, correct? Because
yeah, definitely.
Okay, so that was an outbound lead only because Joe was proactive, right? He didn't wait around sitting on his hands waiting for this lead to come to him. He went and door knocked, cold calls, called people. Sometimes you can't get in front of the right seller, right? A lot of folks use like PropStream, Batch Leads, PropWire, and whoever's on title, that's who you call. Go through the skip tracing service, get your phone or a dialer, give that phone a call or give that person a call. And sometimes you can't get in front of that seller. So to be more proactive, to be more aggressive, you got to get into that whole rabbit hole of like, okay, who is this person associated with? Who are their relatives? And that's exactly what happened on this deal, right? Are you talking about Richmond?
Yeah. So you mean once we find a lead, contact, well, it wasn't a lead yet. It's just kind of a lead, cold lead. I did a deep dive, researching online, figuring out who was the next of kin, contacted the next of kin's brother, and by chance he answered. It was timing, and no one else was doing that work to get in front of the seller. In this case, it was a probate, so there's a lot of steps that had to happen in order to allow him to sell it to me because he wasn't technically the owner yet. But in that process, we learned about the probate process. We learned about pre-foreclosures, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But, I had Gerald's support, and we made it happen.
That was like the best first deal anybody could have get into because it had the most problems. I think you're looking up pre-foreclosures, and you hit them up. You found out that the owner on title is deceased, called relatives, and they told you that they didn't even want to deal with the property.
They were ready to let it go.
Right.
They had let the bank foreclose.
Exactly. They had a bunch of Gerald and Joes and Darrens giving him a call, and he said no to all of them at some point. It just took that one person to maybe ask questions a little differently. And that's the whole thing about this game, right? Is you get a lot of these newbies that join. They're pulling the same list. They're knocking the same doors, but they're saying all the same shit. Joe came in, and he presented himself a little differently. And what worked out for you the most was that you didn't know what you didn't know.
And I told him straight up, from the beginning, I told him I do understand pre-foreclosures. I little white lies. Told him I deal with them all the time. I did act as if I had a little bit more experience than I had, but my intentions were to help him not lose this property with nothing in his pocket, And I told him whatever it is, if we come to a deal, great. If not, I know you have no other resource in this world, so I'm going to see this through whether we get a deal or not, and I'm going to help you through this probate process. And I meant it. And I think he felt my, what's the word I'm looking for? Authenticity?
Yeah.
I mean, you came. The words are true, and I meant him, and he stuck true to his word, because from the beginning he was telling me, no, we're going to work out a deal, which, that sounds great to me, but I also know, being in sales for so long, that buyers or sellers don't always express the truth, intentionally or not intentionally. But he kept his word, I kept my word, and we got it done.
Yep. Awesome, man. So fast forward a little bit. We'll get more into the details. I think this is a good start, right? Like when we do other episodes, we can always come back to it, talk about the intricacies about probate. At that point where you're ready to go make that offer, like what happened then? And this was before getting Darren involved. So like we were kind of like, you're kind of running again and doing everything.
Yeah, I was trying everything. The way I met Gerald was literally, I just hit him on Facebook and was like, let's meet up. I want to follow you guys around and see what you guys do. It was Gerald and his other partner who, I guess you guys are still doing deals together, just kind of separate. I stole Gerald, colluding.
He stole me.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I was trying everything, this agent that showed me this opportunity. I didn't meet him in the context of an investor. I met him because I also am a cameraman. I'm a videographer, and I just called him. I saw his card somewhere on some store. I don't remember exactly where, but it was just sitting there on the front desk. And I just decided to call him and meet up with him to help him with real estate photos and video. And we just got to talking, and I let him know that I also am getting into the investing game, and I have cash buyers who are interested in distressed properties. At that point, he pointing across the street and say, give it a whirl. And I compensated him in the form of doing all that photography and videography work for free. So that's how I got my first deal done, or that's how I got my first deal in contract.
So let's speak a little bit towards the audience. Right? The audience is asking questions like, okay, well, how can I find that person? Like, what skill? I'm not a photographer, right?
Right.
I haven't done sales in the past, 10 years. Like, I did not come from a sales background. What could you share to the audience that don't have that type of background, right? Like,
I would say tough luck if I figure something else out. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm totally messing with you. I would say network, just talk to as many people as you can, figure out what they're doing, what's working for them, figure out what's not working for them, and collectively just come to a strategy or be creative and actually even create your own, because lead gen, it could be across the board how you're finding these leads, you know what I mean? Within your own network, outside networks, Facebook groups, just talking to other investors, finding buyers for these investors. But yeah, sorry, what was your question?
No, you're good. You answered it.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I hear you, man. I'm currently working with the situation right now where I went to a meetup and somebody was struggling with their lead gen, right? They don't know where to start because on the internet, they toss you a lot of information out there that shows you how to get quick leads. You either pay for them, you work hard for them, you door knock, cold call them, whatever it is. They all work. But this particular individual, he didn't know where to start. So I asked, what's your goal? Are you looking to do 1 deal, 2 deals a month, 3 deals? Purchase yourself a dialer, go get a list, or maybe even call some title companies that they could provide a list for you, cold call that list. But there's many ways about it. What I'm trying to say here is, though, I met this wholesaler and he was new. He tried everything, can't get no deals yet. He's not getting much traction. But I let him know, like, hey man, you're in the right place, right? You're in the right place to learn. You're in the right place to nurture relationships, get to know people. I still meet investors till this day that is doing a little bit more high level things than I am. And I just try to pick them out like, man, what do you have going on? And in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, how can I help this person? How can I help this person? He's telling me like, well, look, I flip houses. I'm an agent. I don't cold call though. I can't do that. That's not me. So I'm like, all right, well, he's slacking on the off market game, and that's not always a bad thing. So he has different avenues. For one, choose a strategy that fits your budget. Choose a strategy that fits your personality. I play into my strengths, and my budget allows me to go and prospect every single day, which then generates me leads. Now you have also 2 different type of leads. What Joe was talking about. You have inbound and you have outbound. What are the differences? Your inbound leads are going to be your reactive leads, right? Those are the ones where you're waiting for them to come to you. They could be coming from an agent. They could be coming from a direct mail campaign. They could be coming from a Facebook ads campaign. They're also passive. I'm not actively making cold calls. I'm not actively knocking on doors. It's passive in the sense that I could be going from project to project, or I could be hanging out with my wife and my kid. It's a little bit more of an expensive approach just because you're paying for ads, you're paying for that type of marketing, but it works. Then you have outbound, a lot cheaper. It's more aggressive. I like to call it proactive. Again, right? Inbound is reactive. Outbound is proactive. You're getting after it. That's your cold calling. That's your door knocking. That's your Facebook outreach. It's a more aggressive approach. That's how Joe started off. Right. So, Joe, maybe we can have a podcast episode where we could talk about the different ways in trying to do outbound, maybe get into like the weeds into that, get into outbound. Yeah.
And again, outbound is a great strategy and it works for a lot of people. And I think what you just said, Joe, was great about the being proactive. We were just trying to free up time to be proactive to the inbound leads we are now receiving and towards other strategies and marketing that we're doing. In no way are we saying outbound's not a good strategy, but we literally did everything we've done so far and all the profits we made this year through outbound. So, it's just where you're at. I would say now that we're getting inbound leads through the marketing that we're doing, it definitely shifted our mindsets as far as getting to the meat and the potatoes and getting things closed quicker and being more about the close than about finding the leads. We poorly said a little bit, but I think everyone gets my drift.
So you're saying when it comes, like when you're on the phone with the seller, you're getting straight into, hey, the conversation, get into the nitty gritty versus
nurturing and building all the rapport and the trust and all of those hurdles and issues to even figure out if they are motivated. You know what I mean? Now we know there's some form of motivation because they just went through our form to contact us or for us to contact them. And just by that, we know that something's going on, and we just get straight to it, which I really enjoy compared to the outbound before. And now we have time freed up to really underwrite these and try to figure out different strategies to take it down and get the deal done. And, I think it's safe to say, we're honestly different. We're different investors now, different wholesalers, whatever you want to call it, Gerald. But we are different people now at this point. And I want to just mention that we've tried to do this podcast before, and the conversation flow was different half a year ago, right? But now we're able to speak on these subjects a lot more in depth and fluidly because we understand them a lot more because we've been through it. We've been going through it this whole half year. And I know that doesn't seem like a long time, guys, but we are literally 8 o'clock in the morning, 7:30 in the morning to like 7 p.m. every day, Monday through Sunday. I'm sorry, we're not 5 a.m. super millionaires yet, but we'll get there.
Hey, we'll get there. You know what? I'd have to say this, man. Yeah, you're right. The conversation between both of us, we definitely synergize more. I think in the beginning, we were still trying to figure each other out. And with any relationship in real estate and partnerships, it's a marriage, right? I mean, I'm committed to making sure that when we get into business with somebody, it's somebody that I'm going to nurture, somebody that I'm going to pour into. I'm not just, hey, give me. Like, what can I do for this person, right? What more can I do for this person?
I love you too, Gerald.
Hey, love you too, my guy. Hey, if Darren was here, man, he'd be crying right now. He would be balling.
Big crybaby. Again, guys, we're just growing together. We are figuring this out as we go. Again, we're going to make mistakes. You're not always going to have the answer, but that's okay. Just get out there and get to it. You know what I mean? Any help we can be to any of you guys, feel free to leave comments. We'll try our best to respond to everyone. Not expecting a huge influx of comments yet, but hopefully, any help or assistance you guys need, we have resources. If we don't know, we'll find the people that you know, or we already have them in our network. So, yeah, iron sharpens iron. Shink, shink. This is episode 1.
Yes, sir. Before we let you guys go, please let us know in the comment section what you liked about this podcast. What could we do better? Like, we're always about criticism. Joe and I built, our relationship is based on, man, what could you do better? What could I do better? And, we're hard on each other, right? And
sure.
That's the whole essence of iron sharpens iron. You get into the room with killers, and I get out of the room, and I'm like, man, I made myself 10% better just because I was around the right people. So for anybody that is looking to maybe get on a phone call with us or Joe, maybe we could put our phone numbers or email somewhere into
not on YouTube.
Okay. Well, shit. Maybe if we post on Facebook, but
put in the comments, and then we'll reach out, and then we can connect. We can send it to them individually.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, Gerald and Joe here again with All Pro Home Solutions. This is Iron Sharpens Iron, where we help each other sharpen our skills in real estate investing strategies and just getting further in life. Right?
I don't know why I'm doing this. Cool, bro.
It's a new thing now. We're doing this every time. We're going to make a shirt like that.
X Factor.
Hit the info to see the link to get the shirt. All right, guys. Take care.
Speaking of shirt, bro, we got to get I'm planning to get polo shirts for All Pro Home Solutions. Why only like that, bro?